Hello, guys. My name is SPHIA, and thank you so much for joining me here. It's been a while. This is going to be a catch-up video today where I'm going to bring you guys up to speed on what's been happening in my life since the last video. I've got some notes with me which I might refer to. I kind of know what I want to talk about, but essentially I'm going to be bringing you up to speed on my life. And I'm very much setting the intention of being here much more often. I have really missed making videos, and it's something that's been calling to me. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, since we last spoke, I've moved house. I spent a year in a flat with my sister, and it was like a lower basement flat, still in London, but the lack of light had such a massive effect on my mental health and just how I felt every day. And this place that I've now recently moved into is just the complete opposite. Obviously, nothing against my sister Katie. I love you. This is not about you. But in terms of the space, this is just the complete opposite. It has big windows, so much light. I can see trees outside, and I have just noticed such a big internal shift because of that. So yeah, don't underestimate the power of your surroundings. I went to India for a month last year with my dad, actually, and I did a yoga teacher training course for a month. October 2024, me and my dad went to Rishikesh, which is in the north of India, in like the Himalayan mountains, and it's known to be the birthplace of yoga. So that was one of the main reasons that I wanted to go and do the teacher training in India and in Rishikesh, was for that reason. But also being half Indian myself, going and doing it in India just felt right. And, you know, yoga's been a big part of my life for like 5 or 6 years now, just personally practicing at home, really since COVID. And I just really felt called to go and really like immerse myself in the practice and, you know, actually be taught by someone for an intense period of time. Most of my teaching has come from watching YouTubers. So actually being in India at the place where yoga began and being taught by these experts and, you know, really being given the context, like yoga is not just exercise, it's a way of life. And there's so much more to it, you know, from the like lifestyle routines, what you eat, how you breathe. And it's all with the aim of, you know, coming back to stillness, to oneness, to yourself. So just on my own like spiritual journey, it was so beautiful to go and be immersed in that. And I don't think I really felt or noticed the real impact of it until I was back in England. And I still find myself thinking about India and thinking about how it felt when I was out there. And it was just such a journey and ride of highs and lows, because, you know, it was intense. We were waking up every day. First class started at 5 a.m. And we had lessons, both like exercise, you know, yoga classes, as well as theory, anatomy, all throughout the day until like 6:30 p.m. So it was intense and all consuming, but in just the most beautiful way. Like I was in a group of about 15 other people from all across the world, and it couldn't have been a better group, honestly. Everyone was so different, and yet we all just meshed together like an immediate family, and everyone was there to support each other and lift each other up when, you know, someone was homesick or just having a bad day. And we all had those times, and it really did just feel like a family, and we were just laughing constantly. And that really was what got me through the trip, because there were challenging moments and times, but overall it was something that I'm so glad that I did, and I want to do it again. I would love to go and do yoga teacher training in other countries as well, to have a different experience and, see what that adds to my perspective. And I'm now a qualified yoga teacher, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, that was a big thing that's happened in my life in the last 12 months. Earlier this year, I made a music video for my latest release of a song called All Night, which probably a lot of you that are watching this already know, but in case this is the first time that we're meeting, I'm an artist, singer, songwriter, creative. I make music. I have been making music for the last 6 or 7 years. Yeah, this was probably like the biggest scale music video that I have done yet, because I've always been, independent and self-funded. This video had no financial backing. It was really me putting the financial means into making the video happen, and also bringing in friends and collaborators. We had this idea and we all wanted to work on it together. So I think there were about 12 people in total that were involved in making this music video. This video started as like a Pinterest board on my laptop, and to see that translate into real life, a real video where I could literally see references for like props and things that had been on my original mood board were now here on the set. And it was just like such a full circle moment, I think, as an artist. And I really was able to see how far I've come in terms of what I've been able to achieve and do. And, all the collaborators that I brought in are people that, most of them were people that I've met already and worked with. So, being able to use my networks in that way. Some of my really close friends are some of my best collaborators now. And I think that is just such an amazing thing to be able to realize and recognize. So thank you so much for all the support on that video. Honestly, like, I had some of my friends in the video, and the coolest thing about it was that they were all essentially playing themselves, just maybe in a more extreme characterized form. So if you haven't already seen the music video, please go and check it out. I will drop a link below and let me know what you think. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the love and support that I received on that video. Was amazing and so fulfilling, and just really helped me to recognize what an achievement that was. And I'm really such a believer of celebrating your wins, and, even the small achievements, or, even the achievements that might seem small to someone else, deserve to be celebrated. And actually, they can often be a really big deal. So I really did take a moment to pause and acknowledge that that was a big step and a big achievement for me. And I was super proud of how it came out, and just so grateful to everyone that was involved. It was such a talented team. So shout out to you guys. I've been working on music, a lot of music actually, over the last, it's probably been 2 years, right, since we sat down. So I've still been, home studio girl, making music in my bedroom. That's always been me, and I have kind of loved that. It's been an escape and just a format that's really worked for me as an artist. So I've been working on a lot of new stuff, and I really feel like I found my sound as an artist kind of through the music that I have been creating over the last couple of years. I feel like if you heard it, you would know that it was me. And that's not something that I've necessarily done consciously, but it's something that's definitely happened as a result of just spending so much time creating. And I think that is, I'm really proud of that. But I actually do want to give, and this is kind of a big part of what this video today is about. It's like a proper update on music, because I think for anyone that's an artist, this is going to be a helpful conversation to have and to hear. So as I said already, I'm an independent artist, mostly self-funded, aside from, applying for grants, things like that. And I've been making and releasing music for over 6 years now, really since I moved to London. So it's been a long time. And honestly, over the last year, I think I got to a point where I just was completely and totally burnt out. Yeah, I felt lost, and it got to the point where it was making me unhappy, which is the total opposite of the reason why I started making music in the first place. And it had become such a high pressure thing in my life that even getting myself to sit down and create, there was just so many mental barriers to doing that. And I think that's a result of a number of things. The state of social media and, the reality of being a musician in the present day. It's not the same job it was when I was a child dreaming of being an artist. It's become a very different thing. And it's so easy to compare yourself and see what everyone else is doing and wonder why things aren't happening the same way for you or the way that you imagined. And essentially, I got really burnt out with it, and just felt so lost and knew that, something needed to change. So I entered this period of, real discomfort and unrest where I was still trying to push myself to create music, even though it wasn't fulfilling me. And it felt like this weight over me all the time where I couldn't relax, or any time that I was doing anything other than music, I was kind of mentally beating myself up for thinking that I should be using my time more productively, right? And yeah, I was just banging my head against a brick wall because music had become such an all-consuming part of my identity that I couldn't even see an alternative or, consider the fact or the option of doing anything else or pouring myself into anything else and feeling happy. And this went on, until I really felt like I hit rock bottom. Culmination of the stress of moving house in July. It's very overwhelming, and I'm someone that, my home environment's really important to me. So when it's a mess or everything's in boxes and I don't know where things are, it really does stress me out. So moving house really tipped me over the edge, and I really had to hit rock bottom, I think, to actually allow myself to consider, okay, this is clearly not sustainable. Something's not working here. We need to just pause and reevaluate what's going on. And honestly, I couldn't fake it. Like, even when I was talking to people, even people that I was meeting for the first time, and they were asking me what I do, I started having this conversation, and I felt like the only thing I could do was be honest and say that, I felt lost with it and that I wasn't sure where it was going anymore. I came to the realization that it was time for a break, and it was time to just take my foot off of the gas and stop making music for a bit and see what happened. And at first, that felt really scary. I felt like I had failed, and I had no idea what my life looked like if I wasn't pursuing music anymore. But then something kind of amazing happened, because I was able to release my attachment to this future that I had imagined for myself. And it was it was like an ego death of having wanted and imagined that my life would go a certain way. Suddenly I was, opened up to the possibility of other options. And I really had to trust my gut through this process. I've always, I think, had very strong intuition from my gut, and once I actually took the decision to take a break, I just felt this massive sense of relief and space open up mentally and physically. Like, I was now mentally able to consider other options for what the future would look like, but also I now had more free time to, well, number one, I had more free time to rest, which I think is something that I've never really been able to prioritize consciously. And number two, I still felt a desire to create, but this started manifesting in different ways, like decorating my new home, drawing, watching movies, like I still have felt that creative spark in me. If anything, I've felt it stronger. It's just that it's now less rigid in terms of how it can come out. Even making YouTube videos, this is something that I have wanted to do and felt called to do for a long time, but never prioritized or have given the time. And I've been having so much fun over the last few weeks, allowing myself to create in this medium. And it's something that's been feeling really exciting to me. And suddenly I've started to feel like the options and the possibilities are endless again. Not in a scary way, but in actually a way that's really peaceful, because I think I've just placed my faith back in the universe again and trusted that I am and will end up exactly where I need to be, as long as I'm following that intuition. And it's really hard to let go of an idea of yourself. And so much of my identity was wrapped around being an artist and a musician. And even being here on YouTube, maybe isn't giving mysterious artist or pulling into that image. But that's the thing. I am just an artist, in the sense that I don't want to think all the time about how I'm being perceived and how things are coming across. I just want to express myself in the way that feels best in that moment, in the way that feels most authentic to me. And if this resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that, because it feels really good to me to be true to myself. And I do really believe that that is the best way to find your space in the world and your people. And, even just being happy with this moment right now and realizing that the world is in a really bad way right now. I think we all know that. Across the world, there is so many things happening, and we are seeing them every day. And even just recognizing that if nothing else ever happened, what I have right now is actually so much, and so much more than so many people will ever have. And I think I've been a lot more present with that over the last month or so, and just able to enjoy the small things. I think when you're constantly chasing, you don't really look around. And when you actually slow down is when you can really see the beauty. And yeah, the sun is shining, the birds are singing. And if you're not feeling right on the inside, then honestly, nothing else matters. So I'm officially seeing this as a reframing. And I know that I'm someone that still will create. I'm someone that needs to create and express myself. I just think I need to allow that to happen in other ways. And I've felt excited about making YouTube videos and sharing my thoughts and just my experience of life and my journey more with you guys. I think there's so much more to me than just music, and I'm excited to bring you guys in more on my modeling experience as someone with alopecia that also models. I think that's a really interesting journey that I'm on and want to share. My spiritual journey, and just the way that I see and experience life is something that I want to share more of with you. So don't worry, this is not me saying I'm not making music anymore, because that's definitely not the case. There are things in the pipeline and I have plans. I'm just taking the pressure off myself, and I want to shift the focus to really just creating from a place of, self-expression and wanting to make stuff that I'm proud of, and not concerning myself with what's beyond that and how it's received and how I can, become a star. Like, for some people that really works. And, some people might watch this and think, oh, she's failed, given up. That's fine. I don't feel that way. Actually, I feel like I am free. So don't worry if you do listen to my music. Like I said, I've been working on a lot of stuff over the last few years, and I still really want to put this out and share it with you. So it's coming, just at my own speed, at my own pace. And maybe I'll be able to bring you guys more along on that journey, you know, like through YouTube. Maybe I'll be able to show you more about like what that actually looks like for me and the creative process behind my music and videos and things. If that's something that you would be interested in, then let me know. Sometimes you just need a complete change and a break, you know, a break from the busyness. It creates a space for you to experience life, and, you know, with new experiences, you will have new perspectives that when you do eventually return back to your medium, and this doesn't just apply to me, this applies to all of you, whatever your art form is, whether you're a photographer, whether you're a fashion designer, whether you're a writer, or, you know, whether you have your own business. Sometimes stepping away is absolutely the best thing you can do for that. And just giving yourself a chance to, you know, live life. I really do believe in balance and find so much joy in the simplest things about life and just existing. And I think it's important to keep some of your focus on those things. Also, just like remembering that you are not your creative output is significant. Like, even if you never make anything again, or even if you make stuff but nobody sees it ever again, that isn't your entire identity and personality. You are so much more than what you make, you know? You are a human being. Just by existing, you are enough. Just by being a good person and, you know, being kind, that's pretty much all that is required of you. And I think it's limiting to just judge yourself based on what you make and your creative output. I think it's also a bit egotistical. Like, you're privileged that you have the chance to create and share it with the world. A lot of people don't have that privilege. So what does that say about them, you know? Just being a good human being really is enough. And everything else, I think we kind of just need to let flow through us and move on to the next thing, you know. Which brings me on to the third part of this video, which is where I am now. So I'm moving at my own pace, which in true Capricorn style is still fairly productive, don't get me wrong, but I'm not beating myself up, and I'm being guided by my intuition and my inner calling. I'm removing the external pressure and comparing myself only to, you know, the me I was yesterday. I think it's also so important to recognize that everybody has different starting points in their journey. And so when you see someone online or anywhere and you start comparing, you're forgetting that they may have had a different deck of cards and theirs might have helped them get there faster or made it easier, you know, whether that's financially or through who they knew. It doesn't matter. Like, there is just absolutely no point in comparing where you are to anyone else because you didn't start at the same place. So yeah, stop with the comparison. I'm also allowing myself to grow and change, which I think is a big deal, you know? Like, I'm okay if I stop making music and decide that that's no longer what I want to do. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying I'm giving myself that space to pursue my interests, no matter what they are, and see where that takes me. Because truthfully, it's going to take me where I'm supposed to end up either way. And that doesn't mean that any of this was a waste if that did happen, you know? I have learned so much over the last 6-7 years about myself and the world and what I do like and what I don't like and what I do want around me and what I don't. And I've met so many amazing people who I never would have met if it wasn't for music. You know, even modeling has been so intertwine with my journey with music. So I do really feel like I'm exactly where I need to be and I'm supposed to be at this time. And I'm kind of just leaving it to the universe to do the rest. So long as it feels true and authentic to me, I'm not concerned with how it looks and how it's perceived. And yeah, like I said, I want to show more of myself. I want to share more of my spiritual journey. I want to share more of my mental health journey. I want to share more of my modeling journey and, just my journey of life and getting closer to understanding my purpose. And I think realizing that I am already in my purpose. So yeah, I'm open to what will come my way and I'm enjoying routine and simplicity and prioritizing my health, prioritizing my loved ones, and prioritizing being present with myself and with this moment. So yeah, I'm going to leave this video there. But if you stayed till now, thank you so much for watching. I would love to know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Let me know if this was helpful in any way. And as I'm going to be around more now, let me know what you want to see from me. So yeah, I love you guys. I really do. I hope you're kind to yourself. I hope you took something positive away from this video, and I will see you in another one soon.